All right, today we're going to dive into something really fascinating, a whole new way to look at the human mind called the Brain Kinematics Model. You know those days when you are just completely in the zone and the ideas are flowing like water? Or what about the total opposite, when you feel like you're stuck in a rut, just chewing on the same thought over and over again? And hey, what about those totally bizarre, nonsensical dreams that feel like a movie without a script? Well, what if I told you that these feelings aren't just random moods? According to this new framework, the Brain Kinematics Model, they're actually fundamental operating modes of your mind. They're predictable states that all of us cycle through all the time. So, to really get a handle on this mental operating system, we first have to break it down to its most basic parts. Think of them like the three primary ingredients that make up literally every single thought you have. Okay, first up, we have the object, or just O. This is the who or what of your thought. It's the main character in the story. And a lot of the time, that character is you, right? The I. So when you're worrying about a presentation, I am the object. If you're thinking about your boss, then they're the object. It's the anchor that holds the thought down. Next, we've got the verb, or V. This is the action, the plot, the part that answers what's happening. This is the engine that actually creates a story and connects things over time. It's the difference between just thinking, my boss, and thinking, my boss is giving me a new project. It's what puts your thoughts into motion. And the final piece of the puzzle is the concept, or C. This is the big picture stuff, the so what. It's the abstract framework that gives all your thoughts context and meaning. It's that web of understanding that connects your new project to your career goals, the company's mission, and everything else. So there you have it. Object, verb, and concept. O, V, and C. Simple enough, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. This model says that our mental state totally depends on which of these three is in the driver's seat at any given moment, creating three core dynamic modes. Let's check them out. Okay, this slide pretty much lays out the whole shebang. Up at the top, you've got the high dynamic state. This is that creative flow state. Here, the concept, the big picture, is in charge. Meaning comes first, and that I, or the object, just kind of fades into the background. In the middle, that's our everyday intermediate state. It's flexible, letting us switch easily between the who, what, and why. But then, there's the low dynamic state at the bottom. This is when we get stuck. The object, and yeah, usually that means I, becomes a super heavy anchor, and our ability to see the bigger picture or create a new story just starts to fall apart. So you might be thinking, this is a cool theory, but does it actually, map onto real life? Well, one of the most powerful ways to see it in action is to just look at what our minds do over 24 hours, especially when we go to sleep. We all know that sleep isn't just flipping a switch off and on, right? We cycle through these different stages, from light sleep down into that really deep sleep, and then back up into REM sleep, which is where most of our vivid dreaming happens. And we do this over and over all night long. And this is where the model just clicks into place. It's amazing. Deep sleep, that's a perfect example of a low dynamic state. It's this quiet plateau, almost no story going on. But REM sleep? Whoa! That is a massive spike of high generativity. The verb, that action and story engine, is in total overdrive. It's creating these wild, vivid, bizarre dreams, while the concept and object are super flexible and just shape-shifting all over the place. It's basically a creative explosion without any of the usual rules. Okay, now we're getting to what might be the most profound part of this whole idea, rethinking how we understand mental health. This offers a completely new way to look at different conditions, not as these fixed labels, but as dynamic patterns. So the model suggests that a lot of mental health conditions are what it calls state-attractors. Imagine your mind is like a landscape, and a river of thought is flowing through it. A state-attractor is like that river carving a really deep channel. It's this powerful pattern that just pulls the mind back into that specific mode over and over, making it feel stuck. The key idea here is that it's a pattern, not who you are. Let's look at a real example. Just look at this graph for a major depressive episode. See that giant bar? That's the massive gravitational pull towards the low dynamic state. The mind gets dominated by that heavy I anchor, the object, which leads to all that rumination, while the ability to create new stories or see any kind of bigger picture is just gone. Now, let's flip the script completely. Check out the profile for a manic episode in Bipolar 1. It's the total opposite. Here, the biggest pull is towards the high dynamic state. It is all about the verb, a flood of racing thoughts, talking a mile a minute, impulsive actions. The story engine is just redlining, running so fast that the conceptual framework can't keep up, leading to all this expansive but often chaotic energy. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? This model is basically giving us a brand new, dynamic map of our minds. It helps explain why we feel the way we do, from one moment to the next, one day to the next.
And the implications here are huge. For clinicians, it means seeing mental health conditions as dynamic states we can learn to shift out of, not fixed categories. It also shines a huge spotlight on how critical our sleep cycles are for regulating our daily mental states. And for scientists, it opens up brand new ways to actually measure what the mind is doing.
To wrap it all up in a single sentence, here's how the researchers themselves put it. It's a bit academic, but it nails it. Mental activity is structured by dynamic states in which the priority and coherence of concept, narrative, and object reorganizes. Basically, it's just a constant, flowing dance between what something means, what's happening, and who's involved. So I'll leave you with this thought to take with you as you go about your day, from being super focused at work, to relaxing, to talking with friends, to just drifting off to sleep. Start paying attention. Think about this model. If you could actually draw a map of your own mind's journey through these states, what do you think it would look like?